friends, it's Lisa and Sam, and welcome to a new weekly vlog. So this week's actually going to be like the week of my mom, basically, because her birthday's tomorrow, and then there's also my parents' anniversary and Mother's Day happening this week. So lots of celebrations, lots of gifts. And speaking of gifts, I actually have to wrap her gifts still, so I think I'm going to do that today. And I'm also going to be making her a birthday card, which I can do either today or tomorrow, and then also making a birthday cake, which I think I'm going to wait until tomorrow to do that so that it's nice and fresh on her actual birthday. So yeah, I actually think I'm going to wrap her gifts now and just have that be done. So, because she's actually in Florida right now with my sister. They're visiting my grandparents and helping them pack because my grandparents are actually moving back up here, I think this month. So they went down there to help them pack up their stuff. So I think it'd be fun for my mom to get home from the airport and have presents waiting for her. So I think I'm going to do that. And then I'm probably going to take a nap because I'm so tired. I did not sleep very well last night. I didn't get that much sleep, and I was just like, it was one of those nights where I was just super like uncomfortable, like I could not get comfortable, and I just did not sleep very much, so I'm very tired. So I think I'm going to take a nap, but I think I'm going to wrap my mom's presents first, then I have a video going up, and then it will be nap time. I have a helper. So I have I actually have 3 things to wrap. I need to go and get the 3rd thing downstairs. I'll do that in a minute. But we got my mom an iPad case because she has a Apple Pencil, but she doesn't have a case with like a place to put that, so she kind of has to keep everything separate. So we thought that that would be good. And then the most exciting thing that I'm also going to be, benefiting from, but my mom really wanted one, so it's definitely a gift for her. We got her a Nespresso. Did we need another coffee machine? No. But here it is. We got really excited because we thought we were going to be able to get an espresso because our Keurig wasn't working properly, but then we were able to order the part and my dad fixed it, so our Keurig was not broken, but we still got an espresso. So we get the best of both worlds, as Hannah Montana would say. So I think my mom is going to be pretty excited about this. She's been really wanting one for a long time, and my sister got one, and the coffee that it makes is really good, so I'm excited. I'm excited for my mom to have it, but also for me to be able to use it. So I'm just hoping I have enough wrapping paper, because all of our wrapping paper that is like not Christmas themed, we don't have a lot of it, so I'm just hoping I can get this wrapped with what we have. And we also got her coffee for the machine. It does come with a sampler pack, but we got her like another box of like the double espresso one. So yeah, very excited. It's gonna be great. She's gonna be very happy. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday. It is May 4th. It is my mom's birthday. And I think she's going to be home from the airport soon-ish. I think their flight came in at like 10 something, so they'll probably be home in like an hour to 2 hours. So I'm going to finish my coffee, have some breakfast, and then get started on making her birthday cake. I also did wrap her presents yesterday, and I haven't made a birthday card. I need to do that, and I have an idea. I just have to do it. But yeah, yesterday I was like, I got done what I needed to get done, and then I was like, okay, bye, and just laid in bed basically all day yesterday. I didn't actually nap, which is kind of surprising, but I did have a very lazy day because I was not with the program. And then I went to bed like at 10 and woke up at like 8 something, so I slept for like 10 hours last night, so we made up for lost sleep. But I don't think I've really talked about what I'm reading this week, so I'm still reading Rule of Wolves. I hope it doesn't take me a month and a half like King of Scars did. I started it at the end of April. I think I've already been reading it for like a week, 2 weeks. When did I start this? Oh, I started it like almost 2 weeks ago. So definitely going to be trying to make some progress with that. I am like over 200 pages in. I'm almost to part 2, I think. I'm scared because Rachel was saying on her live that chapter 20 is the chapter that everyone cries at. And because of my spoiler that I managed to figure out, no one told me, but I figured it out. I'm imagining it happens in that chapter. So when I get to that chapter, I'll record my reaction. Probably will sob. It'll be fun. I also have been listening to the audiobook for Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I chose this for the Buzzwordathon this month because the words were home or house or something, so Home Before Dark works. I wanted to read House on the Cerulean Sea, but I could only find the audiobook on the apps that I use, and I really want to read that physically. Like, I really want to get the most out of that story as possible, so I think I'm going to wait till I have, like, a physical copy of it. So I decided to go with Home Before Dark, the audiobook, and I'm liking it. I'm definitely liking it more than the other Riley Sager book that I read, which was Lock Every Door. That one, the ending was pretty spicy, and there were moments throughout that were exciting, but I don't know, for the most part I feel like I thought that that one was just okay. But this one I am enjoying. It's basically this family like lived in this house that I think is haunted. We're not quite sure yet. And the dad wrote a book all about it, and then they kind of became famous from that book. And so we're following, like, every other chapter is like a chapter from the book, and then the other chapters are following the daughter. Like, years later, she goes back to that house to like renovate it. And so far it's really interesting. I'm liking the back and forth between like the book chapters and the current timeline, because I feel like they're matching up the story really well. And I feel like it's interesting because you don't know where the book goes, and you kind of know, but you don't know exactly what happens. And you don't know, obviously, what's going to happen to the daughter, the current timeline. So I think it's interesting having those two happening at the same time. So I'm liking it. I'm hoping I like this one more than Lock Every Door. I didn't think that I originally liked that one. I think I gave it like 4 stars or something. It's probably more like a 3.5 for me. But this one I could see being a little bit of a higher rating. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I'm surprised I'm making sense because I've only had like half of my coffee so far this morning. So we're doing well. So yeah, those are the reading plans for this week. I definitely think I'll finish the audiobook for Home Before Dark by the end of the week, and I would like to finish Rule of Wolves, but that may not happen. But I'd like to get close to finishing. I don't want to have that take me a month and a half like King of Scars did. That's too long. I will say with Rule of Wolves so far, I feel like I'm a little bit more invested in this one than I was King of Scars. The first half of King of Scars is what took me like a majority of the time that it took me to read that book, because nothing happened in the first half. Well, I shouldn't say nothing happened, but it was just so slow, and then like the second half things actually started happening, whereas with Rule of Wolves it is a bit more exciting from the start. Like there was like a mini battle scene kind of thing that happened like not even 100 pages in, so I'm definitely more intrigued. I think I also feel like the two sets of characters that we're following are still very separated in these books, but at least like the plot and like certain communications are happening, so they're a little bit more crossed over, whereas with King of Scars they felt like I was reading 2 separate books. So I think I'm liking it more, but we'll see. There's still some things that happen that I'm like, why? I think one thing that happened at the end of King of Scars that's like now a conflict in Rule of Wolves, I'm like, why is this happening? But we'll see where it goes. So yeah, that's what I've been reading. Those are my thoughts. I'm now gonna go finish my coffee, have some breakfast, and then get started on making some birthday cakes. Alright, hello, it is now Thursday, and I don't know the last time I chatted with you all, but I don't think I've really spoken since my mom's birthday, which went well. She seemed really happy with her presents, very happy with the Nespresso. I'm very happy with the Nespresso. I made an iced latte yesterday and like a normal hot coffee today, and both were delish. So I'm pleased, my mom's pleased. That's what matters the most, not so much me. My mom is happy with her gift. And yeah, so her birthday was good, a success. But yeah, other than that, I just got done filming a video, so I think it's time for lunch. I feel like that's literally what I say every time I film a vlog. I've just filmed a video. Now it's time for lunch. It's always because I film in like the late morning, early afternoon time, so it's just around lunchtime whenever I finish. But a little reading update if you're curious. I literally read like 3 pages of Rule of Wolves last night. I just was not feeling it, so I tried, but it didn't work out for very long. I really do want to read some more today though, so hopefully I can do that. I have been listening though to my audiobook, which is Home Before Dark, and I'm now 44% of the way through. I realized because it's kind of spooky that I can't really listen to it at night, so that does limit my time of when I can listen to the audiobook. I was listening to it last night when I was like getting in bed to go to sleep, and she was describing how when she like got back into bed, she was having dreams of this person standing over her, and I was like, all right, nope, we're not listening to that right now. I also was even just getting spooked today listening to it, so it's definitely spooky. It's definitely freaked me out a couple of times, and so far I am enjoying it. I'm very intrigued to know, like, was this story of what happened to them at this house when they were younger, and like the book that the dad wrote, like, is he lying? Is it true? What's kind of going on? Because she's having experiences there now. So it's all very mysterious and also very spooky. So I'm excited to see kind of where it goes and what ends up happening. All right, I'm gonna go take off the makeup and go and have some lunch, I think, because I'm getting very hungry, so it's time. Okay, we need to talk about Stranger Things for a second because Rachel just commented on my April wrap-up, and I haven't replied to any comments yet, but she commented like, you posting this on the day the next Stranger Things season is announced. And I keep predicting things in videos, like my 2020 favorites video, I was like, if Taylor Swift or BTS do anything for the rest of the year, because I filmed it at like the beginning of December, that'll also be a favorite. And then Taylor Swift like a week later dropped Evermore. And then the day I post my April wrap up and talk about rewatching Stranger Things, they posted like a teaser for the new season. Why my mind? Anyways, but I already have predictions because in the trailer we're seeing Dr. Brenner and like a bunch of the kids that I think are like, we know 11, but there was obviously a 1 through 10 before 11. So I think we're going to be seeing some of those kids maybe. I don't know if it's going to be a flashback or if 11's going to be back at the lab. I don't know, but the Stranger Things account has in their bio 002/004, which could be the characters. Like, 'cause we obviously have 11, and then in season 2 we saw 8, and they have like the tattoos, and it was 008. So I think it could be we're seeing number 2 and number 4, like the characters, or maybe that's when it's being released. Or maybe both, because I was looking at my calendar. I think Netflix things always drop on a Friday, and February of next year, February 4th, is a Friday. So I'm just saying, it's a possibility. It could also maybe be April 2nd. That's a Saturday though. I don't know. I feel like that could be the release day as well. I don't know what it means, but I'm so excited. I think one of the actors on the show did say we were getting season 4 next year though, so I think it's happening. I just don't know when. It'd be really exciting though if it was February, because then we don't have to wait a whole year for it. It'll be at the beginning of the year. I don't know, I'm so excited. I was gonna wait till closer to the release of season 4 to rewatch season 3, so I'll be able to rewatch that soon, hopefully. I'm so excited. Wow. Anyways, anyone have any Stranger Things theories? Let me know. would give a little bit of an update because I don't know the last time I talked, and also I feel like the last couple of clips could be deceiving. You probably thought, oh, must be morning. No, I made a coffee and made pancakes, but I made pancakes for dinner because my parents are out having their anniversary dinner, and I kind of got it in my head that I wanted to do breakfast. I didn't know if I wanted to do eggs or pancakes or something like that, and I went with pancakes. And because I was just like in the breakfast mood, I decided to make myself a decaf cup of coffee. There was actually a decaf pod that came in the sampler with the Nespresso, and my mom was like, I'm never gonna drink decaf, so you can have it. So I figured I would drink that tonight, and it's really good actually, so we love that. And I watched an episode of Romance is a Bonus Book. I watched episode 8 while I ate my dinner, and I was crying into my pancakes, so you know, I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised that I was crying, but all the characters were crying and telling all these sad stories. Like, how am I not supposed to cry? So yeah, I also today did a little painting for my mom because she is obsessed with the little, I think it's Gudetama, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's like this little egg character, and she thinks it's the funniest and cutest thing because like when you see the backside it has a little butt, and it's her favorite thing. So she really wanted me to do a painting of it for her on my little tiny canvas, so I did that, and I think I'm going to give it to her on Mother's Day on Sunday. We are doing like a brunch thing, we are going out to brunch, so I think that is her gift for the most part, but I wanted to just do that and give it to her for Mother's Day as like a little something. And yeah, now it's almost 7:30. I think I'm going to try and do some reading with Rule of Wolves because I haven't read it in a while, and I really, my thing is I don't want to rush it because I feel like this is going to be the last book in the Grisha series. Perhaps, maybe not, but I know that there's like rumors of a Six of Crows 3, but I really don't think that should happen. But I feel like this could be the last one, and I don't want to rush it, but at the same time, like, I've already been reading this for over 2 weeks, so it's like, I just kind of want to make some progress in it. So I think I'm going to try and read this. I was trying to listen to my audiobook while I made dinner, but it's too spooky to read or listen to while I'm home alone, so I immediately was like, I listened to a chapter and was like, okay, that's enough. We're going to put on the BTS playlist now. I need happiness. I can't be listening to spooky things while I'm home alone. That's just not gonna work. So yeah, I think I'm just going to finish my coffee, read some Rule of Wolves, and just have a very cozy night. Alright, hello. It is now Monday of the next week, so I'm going to close out this vlog here, but just to kind of catch you up on what went on this weekend, I did do a lot of reading, which I'll talk about in a minute, but yesterday was Mother's Day, and I think my mom had a pretty good day. We did like a little brunchy thing, me, her, and my sister, kind of in the morning, and then the rest of the day we just hung out, played Mario Kart, had a nice dinner. I gave her the Gudetama painting that she really liked, so I think she had a good day. But for like everything that I read this weekend, I finished the audiobook for Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, and I gave that 4 stars. I definitely liked it more than Lock Every Door. I feel like everyone loves Lock Every Door, and I don't say I understand personally, but I also like, when I first finished it, I was like, wow, that was great, and then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, meh. But Home Before Dark I did really like. I think with any thriller you kind of have to suspend disbelief just like a little bit, but there were a couple of things that I just was like questioning how it was like, how that happened, why they made the decisions they made, and like just so many things. There were a few things that I was just like, why? Like logically just did not make sense to me. But for the most part I was pretty entertained. I was surprised by all of the plot twists and the reveals and everything, so overall I thought it was fun to listen to, and it was definitely spooky. There definitely were a few moments like towards the end with all the reveals and the plot twists and things I was just like, oh, don't like this. And then there were a couple of times I was just listening to it when I was being silly, like when I was trying to go to sleep and she was describing how someone was watching her sleep. I was like, you know, I'm not gonna listen to this right now. And then another time I tried listening to it while I was home alone, so that was just not smart either. But yeah, there definitely were some spooky moments, so I did have a good time listening to the audiobook for that. And then with Rule of Wolves, I'm still reading this. I have like 150 pages left. The end is in sight, thank goodness. I think that's a pretty good indication as to how I'm feeling about this book. I just think it's a very weird reading experience, to be honest, because I find that I'm following characters that I've already seen in past books in this world. So there's already like this established relationship that I have with them. I already know that I love and care about them. But also while reading this book, I do not care about anything. Like, I just don't care. I don't feel that invested in what's going on. I'm invested for the sake of the characters and wanting them to be like okay and not like be miserable, and just wanting them to be happy by the end of it. But like, that's it. That's all I care about. I'm just not loving the actual book and the actual story. And I will say that I think like there were some criticisms that I had with King of Scars that I think have been addressed in this book, like the pacing and the two very distinct storylines that we're following in King of Scars. I feel like this book combined those two things better, and also the pacing is a bit better. Like, it's not like the first half nothing happened. Things were happening throughout the whole book. I just don't know if I care about what's happening. There's one specific conflict in this book that I'm not going to talk about because spoilers, but there's one specific thing that's going on in this book and I don't understand why it's happening. I don't get it. I don't understand. And also the fact that these books are being like advertised as like Nikolai's books. They're not. Don't go into these books expecting them to be about Nikolai, because he's barely in this book. And he's the best part. Like, his like personality and like his jokes and the banter with him and like the other characters and potential love interest, that's the best part of this whole book, and it's barely happening because he's barely in it. I feel like there's just so much other stuff going on. And it's just, I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest. I'm not loving it. It's definitely not a 5-star. I'll be surprised if it's a 4-star, but yeah, I still have 150 pages, so we'll see how things end up, but I will definitely give you guys an update on that when I finish it. I'm not planning on vlogging this next coming week, so I will just make a note to let you guys know how I feel about it in the next time I vlog, the next vlog that I do. But yeah, I don't think I'm the Grishaverse stan that I keep thinking I am, because there's only been one book out of the 7 that I've given 5 stars and one that I've given 4. The rest have all been 3. I imagine that's gonna be a 3. I mean, we'll see how it ends. I don't think it'll be lower than a 3, but as of right now, I just don't care. So yeah, wish me luck with the rest of Rule of Wolves. I'm hoping the last 150 pages are good, but you know, I don't know if that's gonna be the case. So wish me luck, but I think that is going to be it for this vlog. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.